have that fragrant tartness as soon as you bite into this chocolate. We're in Mysuru, and today we're going to explore something truly unique and interesting. So some time ago I heard of this chocolate company called Earthloaf Chocolates that's producing world-class artisanal, which means handmade chocolates using cacao that comes from Karnataka. So since we are in Mysuru, I thought we should explore the chocolates at Earthloaf Chocolates. Hey David.
Kripal.
Good to see you.
Such a pleasure to see you.
At your chocolate lab here in Mysuru.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. I can smell chocolate in the air.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm just stating the obvious.
Of course. I'm immune to it now. You know, I've been here so long that I don't notice the aroma, but it's the first thing that people remark when they come back.
And how long have you been here now?
We have been on this property since 2013.
2013.
And we started in 2012 from my kitchen in Gokulam here in Mysore.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so it was the allure of chocolate that brought you to India, or was it the allure of India that brought you to Mysuru and then you looked at chocolate?
A friend bought some cocoa beans from Gokana.
Okay.
And I was looking to kind of, get back into food. I had just done pastry and baking in London. And I thought, wow, oh my God, India has cocoa. I had no idea. And that was the beginning of a journey that's lasted almost 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
So London's loss was India's gain.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah. So we're going to look at what it takes to create some very special artisan handmade chocolate. So are you going to walk us through how you create magic with chocolate?
What we have here is a few stages of the process.
Okay.
These are cacao beans.
Okay.
These are from Puttur.
From Puttur, okay.
So what you see here has been dehydrated, fermented and dried.
So there's this whole movement, right, today when you talk about, so it's all about going back to things that are organic, things that are more rooted, things that are artisanal.
Yeah.
So what makes artisanal chocolate? It sounds wonderful to say, and
and it's such a buzzword, and unfortunately, like most buzzwords, there's a bit of a concern that it's being overused and therefore its real meaning is being diluted.
Okay.
So for me, artisan means there has to be a level of skill that's imbibed into the process. So what we do at Naviluna, my philosophy is where machines are needed, we will use machines. We don't want people to break their backs like grandmothers in Mexico conching and grinding by hand. Wherever possible, a manual process can be done. We would rather have simple machines and sophisticated, talented people than having sophisticated machines and simple people.
So you always require that human intervention.
100%.
Right? 100%. So every batch will perhaps also differ.
It does.
Right?
It does.
And that's what you're aiming for.
That is exactly what we're aiming for.
You're not trying to stabilize from one batch to the next.
No.
All right.
No.
And also these are organic.
They're organic
cacao beans.
Beans. Yeah. So we're really lucky in India. Unlike Ivory Coast and Ghana, where 85% of the world's cacao comes from, most cacao in India is actually grown in a highly biodiverse environment. This cocoa orchard, Varanashi Farms in Puttur, they will grow jackfruit, they're growing cashew, they're growing areca nut, they're growing mace, they're growing nutmeg, all within the same, and it's more of a managed jungle than a farm.
So do you have the character of all that goes into the terroir and then comes back into the cacao bean?
100%.
Yes?
100%.
So when I'm smelling this, it just smells, it's got this earthy, funky sort of a aroma. So it smells nothing like chocolate.
Absolutely.
So
if you smell, for me it really reminds me of like an añejo or an aged tequila. You've got very subtle fruity alcohol.
Okay.
And the reason why that's so important is there is actually some alcohol left on the skin from the fermentation. Chocolate and cacao, just like bread, just like wine, just like beer, etc., needs to be fermented. Okay. And 50% of the flavor that we actually get in our final chocolate comes from the fermentation and the drying. If you look inside here, you can see it's a nice brownish color.
Yeah.
Now the Forastero cacao, when it's unfermented, when it's still fresh, it's actually purple.
Oh. So are these cocoa beans edible?
Absolutely.
Yeah. We definitely taste the the beginning of chocolate in this.
Can you?
You can. And it's bitter. And it also has a slightly tart edge.
It does, yeah.
So it's quite an addictive bite actually.
It is, isn't it?
It is.
Because it's got bitter, it's got sour, it sometimes has hints of sweet, and it's got umami.
It also has a nutty.
It has a lovely nut flavor.
So you have the nibs, and then how does the nib gets transformed into this
Absolutely.
seductive looking?
Beans, we've made sure that they've been well fermented. We've checked, we've done our fermentation cut test.
Yes.
And then they go into processing. So we crush them and separate the nibs from the husk. Now, inside the nibs, though it's a solid and it's quite hard to the touch, it actually comprises of 45 to 55% oil fats, right? Cocoa butter that is so good for our skin is actually what's in here. That's the natural oil of the cocoa bean. And we use traditional dosa idli grinders.
Stone grinders.
Stone grinders. So what this is just 72% cacao nibs and 28% coconut sugar. Nothing else. All of that liquid that you see there is the natural oils that are found in here. Nothing else.
And how long does it take to transform from this to this?
Okay, so to make it look like this, 12 hours.
12 hours.
But to make it taste the way we need it to taste, in excess of 72 hours.
So this is 72% chocolate and
That's right.
28%
Coconut sugar.
coconut sugar.
Yeah.
And then this gets solidified into a
Gets
mass
solidified,
like this.
absolutely.
Can I taste some of this?
Typically, Indian origin chocolate, like Indian origin coffee, tends to be a little bit tart, a little bit more fruity, slightly less nutty than our African or South American counterparts, but it has a really nice bright flavor.
It does.
And that's the kind of thing that we really try to kind of, expose.
Oh, this is wonderful. And this then gets transformed in the kitchen into the slab.
Absolutely.
Right now, we'll go into the kitchen to see how that bar of chocolate is produced from this big block. Let's go in.
You would have noticed that the chocolate block that we had next door was quite textured.
Okay.
And that's because there's actually 6 types of crystals, 6 different types of crystals that form in the cocoa butter. And they're all suspended in different shapes. But there's actually just one type of crystal that makes the chocolate shiny, has a consistent color, and gives a good snap. And that's called the beta 5 crystal. We want to break apart all those different crystals.
Barring that one.
Well, even including that one. And then we're going to bring it to the temperature where that one can form, where the beta crystal can actually form. So all tempering is, though it sounds very complicated, in practice it's actually quite straightforward. So the science of that is we're going to be raising the temperature of the chocolate up to 110 Fahrenheit, where all the crystals break down, and we're going to cool it down to 90 Fahrenheit, where the beta crystal comes together. So we've heated this to 110. I'm just going to bring it onto the table. Now the table is quite cool.
Oh, this looks delicious even as you pour this.
It's a beautiful thing. So there's 2 methods. We can either go straight down to 90,
Okay.
or we can go down to 80.
Okay.
I'm just going to go straight down to 80.
Okay.
This is the simple tabling method that you want to do at home when you're tempering chocolate. Tempering is about 3 factors: TTM, time, temperature, and movement. So we want to get the right agitation. We want to do it in the right time. We don't want the chocolate to overcool, otherwise we have to start all over again. And we're going to actually just warm it up with some warm chocolate and bring it back up to 90.
Watching this chocolate being tempered, I can't wait to taste the finished product. This is as alluring as that. You can also smell now
The aromatics.
the aromatics, right?
Absolutely.
Do you want some help cleaning this up?
Oh, yes, please. Very kind of you.
It's intense.
Very intense.
I won't just take a bit that's fallen on the side. This chocolate envelopes your palate, just takes over your senses. Oh wow. This is a big, bold chocolate in the making.
In the making.
So this is a chocolate mold.
This is our custom chocolate mold.
Okay.
You can see the indents here. We've actually used chitara art, which is the folk style from Malnad, where these beans have come from. So again,
okay.
tying in the farmer to the consumer using culture and art.
So even the design here has a message.
It does.
Yeah. So it's the local culture that's captured in the mold here. it's a provenance speaking even in terms of the form of the chocolate, not just the flavor.
Absolutely.
So is this where you weigh the chocolate in terms of the grammage that you want?
That's right, and just make sure that it's consistent in terms of the weight. These are Macedonian juniper berries.
Wow.
And this bar was actually designed to go with the GNT.
Ah, okay.
So we're gonna go in the fridge.
All right.
Now follow me.
Now that we've seen how the chocolate is made, it's time to taste the chocolate.
Yes.
I've been patient all along, David,
Yes,
just in the hope that we're going to taste some of your fantastic chocolate out here.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go and taste some chocolate.
This is the truth telling.
This is the truth telling, and this is the one that I'm looking forward to the most. So you've got 15 chocolates here.
Yeah.
All right.
We put things on the menu and we take things off.
Okay.
I like to be seasonal.
Okay.
We have some staple single origins, but sometimes when we discover an interesting cocoa farmer from a different region, we might have a limited edition single origin.
So enough said, what should we begin the tasting with?
I think we should start with the juniper and chamomile, which you saw in the kitchen earlier.
Ah, okay, so
over here.
that's right here. So I've got all the chamomile, and then that's the juniper berry.
That's the juniper berry, and actually inside is an inclusion of a little bit of fig and rose petals. And that was just there to round out and help bind those flavors.
Inside the chocolate?
Inside the chocolate, yeah.
Ah, okay. I'm going to bite into the juniper. I love the bold flavors of the chocolate. And of course, the flavor here is being led by the juniper, because I think that's the most assertive of all the flavors that you find. But I think you probably need to, like you said, let the chocolate just dissolve.
Yeah. And this was specifically designed to be paired with a gin and tonic. The idea is that there is a pocket that's left open for the pairing to fill. Yeah.
So I can also taste the fig now.
Coming through.
That's kind of coming through as I'm enjoying this piece of chocolate. I think what I'm beginning to realize is that this is not chocolate that you open a slab, you take a piece and you swallow it and forget about it. This is not a chocolate that's been designed for that. This is a chocolate that's been designed to be nursed.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. I mean, we want to encourage presence.
If you were to just bite into this chocolate and just swallow it, I think you would miss all that magic.
Totally. Totally. And we'd hate for that to happen. So the next thing I want to show you is our American barrel aged. So we've actually aged the cocoa for 3 months in those bourbon casks I mentioned. As it becomes a liquid again on your palate, then all the flavors are going to come out, and you should pick up a little bit of the wood from the barrel.
Let's go for it then.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let this one melt.
But even as I place it in my mouth, I think the barrel aging makes its presence felt right then and there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we want a long finish. I always get this point where I have chocolate and it kind of gets me on a journey and then it stops.
This chocolate is definitely not doing that.
Good.
Yeah. So all the chocolates here are 72%,
Yeah.
all of them.
Oh, fruit
Before that, I think this chocolate also has a certain warmth.
Yeah. You're getting that at the back of the throat?
Yeah. And what is that because of? Because of the fact that you've fermented the nibs in those barrels, or what?
The warmth, you'll get a little bit of spiciness from the wood. American oak is known for being a little bit spicy, unlike French oak.
Yeah.
So that's, yeah, you got a bit of a gingerbread spice at the back of the throat that comes from the wood.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and that whiskey perfume that's
right.
still left in the wood and that comes in contact with the cacao nibs. The next thing I want to take you on to, Kripal, I have 2 more, so you have to bear with me. You're a foodie as I am. I'm sure, as I have, you found yourselves on the streets of Calcutta. Great street food. What is the big flavor in Bengal? It's Gondhoraj lime or Gondhoraj lebu. Gondhoraj obviously means king of fragrance in Bengali.
Right.
We get ours flown in from an organic farm. You can see this is candied Gondhoraj. And the little specks there are actually the skin of the Gondhoraj, which all the essential oils locks in.
The rind.
We skin the rind and we dehydrate it to lock in the oils, and then we powder them and put them on the surface of the bar, and we've candied the fruits.
So this is dehydrated Gondhoraj peel those flecks.
That's right.
And then you've got the candied Gondhoraj.
Fruit. Yeah.
All right. So you also, do you have the seed as well? Okay.
Sometimes we get a little bit in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to get all this Gondhoraj in one bite. You have that fragrant tartness as soon as you bite into this chocolate, and that's what it does. So you've got this refreshing, citrusy fragrance that you're not smelling, but you're tasting on the palate.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a flavor bomb. It's supposed to explode.
Oh, that is so special. And this is available off the shelf. It's also available online.
Yes, in all our stockists as well as online on our website. I can take you to one more which is going to disappear very soon.
Okay.
It is our monsoon season, Jamun and rosemary. We bring it out every monsoon season when Jamun's actually in season. We only make a couple of thousand bars and then it's gone.
Okay. So it started with all the Jamun.
That's right. And just 1 or 2 sprigs of rosemary, because rosemary is obviously very strong.
Yeah. You know, the Jamun in this has a very jammy sort of a character.
So we wait until they get slightly overripe and then dehydrate them so that they stay jammy.
Lovely. And I'm going to now taste this with the Jamun and that fleck of rosemary that you have. So you, of course, taste the chocolate, you taste the jamminess of the Jamun, and then the rosemary makes its presence felt and brings everything back to...
Just resets the palate.
Absolutely. Once you worked your way with the rosemary, then taste the chocolate again, and then you have bits of the Jamun, which is, on your palate. These are definitely chocolates that you need to nurse. These are chocolates that you need to savor, bite by bite. You need to allow these chocolates to speak to you, because that's what these chocolates do. These are chocolates that require time, patience as you enjoy them, and that's when tasting these artisan chocolates becomes truly rewarding. Thank you very much, David.
Kripal, an absolute
It's
pleasure.
been wonderful tasting all these chocolates, and also thank you for sharing the work, the detail, most importantly the passion that goes into this.
Thank you, a pleasure.
Right? Order your very own bar or 2 or 3 of Naviluna chocolates. Naviluna chocolates are available on the Naviluna website. We're going to post a link to the website in the description below. So do look them up. I've tasted them and they're probably one of the most interesting chocolates that you will find. Each slab of chocolate has a story to tell. Go ahead and discover them. Thank you. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, share and leave a comment. If you'd like to support Food Lovers TV, do log on to foodlovers.in and hit the Support Food Lovers banner. Links in the description below. Happy eating!